Hello, Namaskar everyone. Welcome to Dhvaani, which means sound in Hindi. We bring to you resonating sounds created by the actions of women innovators, leaders, experts, and entrepreneurs who are making a difference in their and others' lives. We share their stories to inspire and empower other women. Dhvani is an initiative of Innoberry, which is offering a platform for the women to voice their thoughts, struggles, challenges, achievements, highs and lows, and the journey that they have undertaken. I am Pooja Bhatia, a tech transfer, patent licensing, and intellectual property professional, and now your host for this show. Let's inspire and get inspired.
Hi, hello. Good evening, good morning, everybody. Today I have with me Dr. Divya. She's joining me to share her experience and learnings from the internship, known by various names Women Scientist C scheme, which is run by DST, initially known as WSC scheme, and right now it's called as Y scheme. And today we will be knowing more about her experience in undergoing this internship and how it has benefited her. Thank you so much, Divya, for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Pooja. Thank you for inviting me and having me over here.
Divya, which batch are you from?
So
And
I'm
which
from the
year?
fourth. Oh, so I'm from the fourth batch, Pooja, that actually started in 2008 May. So that was from 2008 May till April 2009. It's the fourth batch, and it used to be called as Women Scientist Scholarship Scheme C at that time.
So you were just 2 years after I started in 2006. So we are still closer in terms of the
Yeah,
number of years. So
yeah,
where were
exactly.
you placed for the training?
So for
Was
my
it a law
training,
firm?
I no. So at that time, like when I got selected for this scheme, I was actually finishing my PhD from Delhi University, and I preferred to do my training at IGIB, so in their IP and PME cell. So I worked with IGIB, that is a CSIR lab, for my internship.
So how different was the experience? I'm sure it is something that prompted you to continue in this field and not change it. So how was the
Yeah,
experience?
yeah, exactly. So I would say that it was quite an interesting experience. So coming from with lab experience, like of course it was completely different, but still it was a CSIR lab, a prestigious lab of CSIR. So I was actually able to keep myself connected with the kind of best research, not done by me, but by other researchers. So I was able to connect myself well with the top-notch research going on there, and was able to contribute to research and IP management for those people. So it was actually a very interesting experience. And IGIB at that time had filed quite a lot of patent applications, and the prosecutions were going on. So I got to learn quite a lot of patent prosecution there. Also, there were some patent filing requests, so for which I was able to do some searchings, and kind of even did a portfolio making for all their scientists at that time. So of I would say that it was not really the world of the typical IP law firms, but then honestly I would say that I was not looking for the typical IP law firms, and that's why I've still not been a part of any law firm as of date, like what I have been doing currently. And I have enjoyed every bit of starting my journey from typewriter to IGIB till where I am today.
So in 1 year, Divya, would you say that, um, that training period was sufficient to give you experience in different domains? Like you talked about prosecution, you talked about the management part, you also talked about managing the portfolio and auditing it. So was 1 year enough to give you a glimpse into the window of
So
different parts of IP management?
So, I mean, if you ask me, like for me, 1 year was, I would say, good enough at least to give me a feel of what I wanted to do. But like how good I would be at what I wanted to do. I mean, that is something that one can only, learn while on, like on job, like, so research management or IP management is something that we can't, do by reading, like theory for years. So we actually have to be, practically working on ground. So at least I got a glimpse of what I wanted to do or what I didn't want to do. So I didn't want to be, I would not here, like try to demean any portfolio, but for myself, I thought that I would not enjoy doing patent draftings for long, but probably I would enjoy reading scientific literature and helping the scientists there. So that ways I chose patent analytics, or the freedom to operate searches for me as like one of my preferred job roles, like in coming years, I would say.
So you are still in working in the field of IP, and
Yeah.
do you enjoy doing what you're doing?
Of course. So as like, you may know personally, but yeah, the audience would not know. So I worked at BCIL for 1 year, and there I did a lot of freedom to operate analysis. That was another dimension to it that I really didn't know about while I was at IGIB, but it was searching and analysis, and I really, like enjoyed, and I think, like I I evolved quite a lot from there, and then I managed to get one of my dream roles at DuPont India in their knowledge center at Hyderabad. And then from there, like I moved from Delhi to Hyderabad, and I worked with them for a long, like for more than 5 years. So I would say that I would have preferred to retire from there, but ironically, the company chose to retire before we would have retired. So, that was like a turning point again. So right now I'm at CCMB Hyderabad, and of course, like I have been evolving continuously. So I do more of technology management now. Like there's less of pure IP component, like only patents, but it's again the same domain. I would say IP management. So I have more into technology management, licensing, those kind of activities, and I have really been enjoying, like what I have been doing and what I have been done. So I would say that it has been a tremendous learning experience all through these years.
What next, Divya, for you?
So as I said, like I'm at CCMB, so it's a permanent role. CCMB is a CSIR lab, one of the prestigious labs in biology in India, and my job offers me permanency. So, but at the same time, I think I'm a person who probably doesn't enjoy a lot of stability. So I want, like more dynamic things in my role. But I really don't know what next for me, because at CCMB I have been getting an opportunity to do almost, like everything related to IP. So sometimes when we have, say, some company showing interest, so even we have been doing no patent or IP evaluation kind of work. So I think I have been doing like all the things that I would have wanted to do. I have also been teaching the PhD students here, like as a part of their coursework. But maybe
Oh,
in coming years, I would want to do more of teaching activities. So, but that has to, like go along with my role. So, but I actually want to give back to the society from which I come from, and
yeah.
I actually want to, like contribute to education, like be it IP education or be it, general science education for the people coming from the grassroots. So that's something, like I would wish for, I would say.
Yeah, in a way, we got the education, so we want to educate in a better way and more
Right. Yeah.
effectively to
Exactly.
um, spread the message that we have learned.
Yeah. Yeah. Very right.
Divya, one last question for you. So, why don't you walk everybody through the entire journey? Like, you started out with IGIB as an
Mhm.
intern, then you worked at BCIL, then DuPont, and
Yeah.
then there's a missing link in between, and
Oh,
then
yeah. So,
CCMB. So, if you could
yeah.
connect the
So
dots
yeah.
for
So
us.
let me, try to, like submit up for the audience quickly. So while I was doing my PhD in the university, it was a beautiful lab and beautiful piece of research. But then the kind of person I was, like who had, like quite diverse interests, and who was a very, like kind of person who would enjoy communications, unlike the typical researchers. So I was trying to think, like what next for me, like I should choose for, that would be, like going with me, like in the long run. So at that point of time, I was aware of this scheme of typewriter because 3 batches were all completed. So I thought I would give a try to IPR, and eventually, like I qualified the exam and like got to work at IGIB. As I already said, that it was quite, like a good experience for me, and I thought that it's worth pursuing my career in the field of IP. There's a lot of scope for IP professionals to add value to the life of a scientific researcher.
Yeah.
So that ways I was there, and then after IGIB, like the TIFEX scheme was over, I managed to get to BCIL as a patent executive, and I worked there for 1 year. So again, after 1 year, I was kind of thinking that like probably I would not have new learnings at BCIL for me, so I had started exploring outside, and then I managed to land into DuPont in their knowledge center in Hyderabad. So I worked there as a patent analyst for more than 5 years and did all kinds of searches. In fact, like I was a part of, like many important programs, I would say. Like I won't be able to disclose, like what exactly I did being there, but but it was, like kind of like I mean quite diverse roles. Work, I mean working very closely with the colleagues in the US. And then apparently around the same time, as I said, like DuPont was going through a phase of turmoil and it decided to close its operation. I mean, many of its operations globally, and
Yeah.
DuPont India IP team was one of them. So that time, my daughter was very small, and no, I was really about kind of thinking. I mean, do I really want to continue excelling professionally, or I should, like think of my family also? So I was trying to establish a work-life balance for me. I mean, a family and work balance, I would say, for myself. So I was really not sure what I wanted to do, but I was very sure that I didn't want to move out of Hyderabad at that point of
Hyderabad.
time. And around the same time, Kenneth Partners had started their office in Hyderabad. So I thought, like I have never actively done patent drafting kind of work. So why not, like go and opt for an internship, like with them. So I mean, you could see here that despite working for 7 years, I didn't hesitate in asking them for an internship. And then like they're like Dr. Gautam Bhattacharya, like in the Hyderabad office, I mean, who was leading this office, he told me, you are already quite senior and you should not actually ask for an internship. I said, but I feel that, I don't know like much of IP, I mean, patent drafting. So I don't hesitate, like being an intern and learning
Intern.
there. So apparently he kind of, like, because he was also trying to, I mean, establish business in Hyderabad. So he offered me an internship position. Of course, it was, like a very handsome stipend, I would say, that he offered to me. I hadn't thought about that. I was willing to, like work at zero pay. I
Yeah.
was like, I should get to learn and I should have the flexibility of raising my daughter happily. At that time, she was only 2 years old. So at that time, it was like, I worked with them for 6 months. I was trying to help them in getting clientele for them, like based on what I knew and my own experiences, like, and learning from them about patent drafting and execution. So again, it was like kind of a beautiful journey with them. I mean, for ideally, I mean, theoretically for 6 months, but it expanded over a period of 9 to 10 months. And around then, there were like few more of my friends in Hyderabad, like from DuPont, who didn't want to, like move out of DuPont, and we kept on thinking, like what should we be doing? And at that point, I mean, around that time, uh, I mean, the idea of entrepreneurship, like, kind of hit us. And we actually started, like, we co founded an IP firm called Evidinvent. So the firm still continues and the firm is doing good. But I decided to walk out of the firm again, like based on like my requirements, like that were evolving with time.
Yeah.
And so at that time, so I realized that, while I enjoyed entrepreneurship, but probably I wasn't, like very happy with the idea of being confined, like within the premises of home and operating from home. And I realized that, like the social bug in me is, like still alive, and like I want to be going out to,
Going
like
out.
some working office on a day-to-day basis. And maybe that was the, like main triggering factor for me, that I thought that, I would not be really very like happy in this setup of our own partnership firm. And I decided to move out, but at the same time like I was very sure that I didn't want to, I mean, just like pick up any random job coming to me. So while I was continuously thinking what I wanted to do next, I was actually feeling that I had this urge of contributing to the government system, because primarily like I have been from I have studied from a government school, and I have done all my education from the leading government educations with minimal fees and all those things. Even you see that I chose IGIB for my internship.
Internship.
So yeah, so somewhere like I felt that it, I mean, if I choose a good R&D organization in the government sector, they, I mean, because I have learned a lot from them, so it would be good if I could give back to them. And that's how like I was trying at some of the leading organizations, and CCMB happens to me in 2018 October. So it was just like 3 months after, not even 3 months, I mean 2 months after I decided to exit the partnership. And in the meantime, I had also taken up a role at CCAM Bangalore as their IP and tech transfer manager. But that was kind of that just overlapped with my job at CCMB, so I
CCMB.
eventually had to quit that job, and then for
Join
past five
here.
years, yeah. So
Well,
so that, I
that's
mean, that was something in between, yeah.
yeah, but that's a wonderful journey. Deva, believe me, you know, you have been shifting from one mode to different, and you have picked up a lot of skills in between. So I hope
Yeah, you could
everybody,
say that. Yes.
and
So
I
like
believe that
every roles like have got like newer and good learnings, and like have been quite, I would say that like I have been quite adaptable. So like have been to different places, and like have tried to learn good skills from them, and of course tried to utilize those skills in my next roles. So, and that like I think anybody should be and would be doing for excelling in their career in any field, be it IP or be it like any other field. These would be the
absolutely. And it's and I believe anybody who's listening to this session would learn a lot from it and find it useful. So thank you so much, Divya, for sharing your experience with us. I'm sure anyone who's listening to this session is going to benefit from it, and would be intrigued enough to join in this field and work in IP, use their skills to contribute back to the society. Thank you so much, Divya. It was a pleasure talking to you, especially after
thank you
such a
so much,
long
Pooja.
time.
So so I think the pleasure is equally mine, and together we can spread the message to the world that indeed it's a beautiful world of IP management, and TIFEC has been and would continue to be a great platform, and people should like try to like be a part of the scheme and get benefited and continue to like spread their learnings to the world. Thank you so much, Pooja.
Thank you so much.